to the Pastor Chira Show. I'm Pastor Chira, and today we launch. We launch into new mindset. We launch into new territory. We launch into new relationships. Are you ready to launch? Come on and launch out with me as we go into this conversation. So today I am honored, I am privileged, I am very honored and very privileged to be joined by this young man who I have known, he just told me, for over 30 years. Yeah, I feel quite old. But we have known each other a very long time, and I am so godly proud of the man that he has become and what he's doing and all that he is endeavoring upon. And I don't know if you know him, but you're about to be introduced to a young man who is phenomenal in my eyes, and his name is Aaron Draper. Hi, Aaron.
Hello.
Hey, how are
Hello,
you?
everybody. I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, I
See?
am so honored. Being you, this is
You know.
us. I am honestly honored that you said yes to being on the Pastor Chira Show and sitting down and
Of
talking
course.
with me about you. So, before we get into our conversation, can you just tell the watching audience just a little bit about you, Aaron Draper?
I am Aaron Draper from North Philadelphia, born and raised. Uh, from out of United Holiness Church of America, ended up in, uh, I guess non-denomination after a while. And I was a drummer. I started out a drummer, 6 years old, 6 years old, 9, around the time, and playing in church like all musicians. And I ended up in around like 96 at Bishop Gilbert Coleman's church, and then 97 ended up at Bishop Andrew James Ford
Mm-hmm.
at the Ford Memorial. I think it was the Tabernacle back then,
Yes,
before
it
we changed it
was.
to Temple.
Yes.
And where that changed my life, where you go in there and the bishop gives a warning, this floor moves, I know you feel the floor moves, well, this floor was made for dancing. And,
Yes.
that's where a lot of more of my musical development, because before prior I was a musician, but uh, that's where, everything changed for me. And here I am, 20 years later, almost 40 next year.
Yes.
20-year career of traveling and playing and touring for a bunch of great artists. And, still play church, when I'm home.
Mm-hmm.
That never stops. You can never forget home. So, and that's a little brief of who I am.
Wow.
You'll hear more as we go along, but
Yes.
I'm honored to be here.
Yes. Yes. So we did. We started so long ago, and on this journey and just our relationship of, and we've
Hmm.
watched each other, grow and mature, go through many different things inside and outside
Hmm.
of church and ministry. Because, again, church and ministry are two different things. People, you know, put them together as the same, but they really
Yeah,
are different. Church and
yeah.
ministry are
Ministry is when you're
different.
reaching out. Yeah, ministry is going out and out of the walls, out of the four walls,
Yes.
and you're going out to the people actually out on the street, and
Mm-hmm.
being a light and everything. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
And then you go home
go
and you
ahead.
get replenished. You go home to get refilled. That's what church is.
You're right. So
Yeah,
ministry is going out, and church is coming back in order to get what you need
exactly. It's taking
in
what you
order to
learned
go
in the
back
house,
out.
and exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But it got to be ordered at the house. Come on, I won't preach tonight.
There better be some order at the house. Listen, because
Listen, you
if
got to
there's
take care
no
of
order
home
at the
first.
house, why am I going back to that house?
I don't know.
I ain't going back
Cause
there.
you going out giving wrong, false mess and
Mm,
information. You wanted to be right at
mm.
the house first, but
Listen.
anyway.
Because you're right. But there's so many.
Yeah.
Listen, and that's why a lot, like when you go out, even
Mm-hmm.
being on the road and doing the stuff that you do, right? And being in the different areas that you are,
Mm-hmm.
when you do come home, right? You got to have
Mm-hmm.
somewhere to come to that's right. How do
Exactly.
you keep that connection and foundation in order to be able to go out and do what you do and be in the atmospheres that you're in and be able to come back and get what you need but have that foundation? How do you find that?
I mean, the key word is that's the foundation. So you and I mean, I haven't been perfect, but the word is always with me. I know I got people always praying for me, so it always gonna be. I always know I need to go home and just you know put my foot in the house and give back whatever I need to give back because that's gonna bless me. Right now I've been back in my original home church playing drums actually,
Really?
and so I know I've been playing here, and so I've been just making sure everything's good there, and helping telling pastor to get a new system and take care of drums and just little stuff here, getting mics, and just making sure the system sounds great. Having my friends that work on these stages and do artists that do sound men and have them come in and just make sure everything's cool with the church, make sure so that's my way of giving back my ministry to the church, because
Mm-hmm.
the excellence of what I do on the road, I bring it back home and make sure take care of
No.
home. So
You mean the stuff that you do out on the road, you bring it back to the church
like
because
like the sound, sound counts, making sure the instruments is good, like all that kind of stuff, like that stuff,
nuh-uh. Because y'all
you
leave
know.
the church and y'all go out and y'all forget about the ministries. Y'all don't care about what's going on at
That ain't.
home and how that stuff is going. And you don't have to bring that stuff back. Just send your tithes. You don't matter.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of churches like that too.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean that's it's funny because I mean that's probably why I mean I know a lot of musicians who's left because of that reason. Like they're not getting take care of the church. They're working hard and doing all this, and then you go on the road and you make thousands of dollars, and you still want to be home, but they want you to And it's not even about money. You know, it's not even about money, but you're supposed to take care of the people. A work is
Hmm.
worthy of his hire. So if I'm giving
And
you the
that
best every Sunday,
right,
you know what I mean?
right,
You know,
right. But
and
it's a
by
give
all
and
means,
take.
I don't really get paid at my church. I play. I just do whatever my aunt. She'll give me a little something, and I'm just like, you ain't have to, but okay. I take the
Right,
little love gift,
right.
you know.
But I
So
mean, but it is a give and take because, like you
yeah.
said, even while you're on the road, you're out there. There are those
Hmm.
that are here that are praying, right? That are
Hmm.
sending you, little tidbits, like just little words of encouragement,
Hmm.
prayers and scriptures, just to
Absolutely.
make sure
Hmm.
that spiritually you are covered.
Hmm.
How important is that to you?
Oh, it's very important because I wouldn't be able to travel, go, or be around the things I am if I wasn't covered or prayed for as much as by the people that my cousin is calling me. Not right now, but it's super important to me because even before I go on any tours or something, I always go see my mother and they pray for my mom and father. Before I go to roll, cover up God, and I take that and roll with it. Like I said, it's been
Right.
20 years. I've been all across the world. So
All across the world, like everywhere. Like we look up and
not as much as Omar. I'm trying to get there. Omar, Omar was my, you know, Omar was the catalyst. He was
mm,
the first one. When he started
yeah,
playing at church, and I remember him going on tour with Kelly Price and all that, and then seeing them doing all this stuff, that was my example back then. I'm like, man, I'm trying to get like, oh, so
Right.
now that of course, it had never changed, but we we on the same stages now. Like I said, we're playing together on this. It's just, and then we have those memories. We have our moments.
Right.
Like, yo, you
Back
remember
together again.
this? Yeah, it's that to me, because that's my foundation. Like, the churches that I began at, and then like just Fort Memorial for me was some of the best church for me at that time. The new
Right.
church, whatever's happening now, but I would never have that experience like I experienced there at on Germantown Avenue. It was our band and everything. We were just it was a tight, it was a unit. It'd be whew, I got the All-Star Sunday now to this day. It's like Omar's like, how do you have that? I have
Oh.
I just keep that stuff. I don't ever want to be forgotten. Because rest in peace, Bishop. You know, that's
What made
that's
that?
a,
What made that the
what's
best
that?
for you though? Like what made those
The music I
days?
was learning, the man, everything about Ford. It was just a different experience. It was the 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 praising, the blessings that did happen there, the moments we all shared. It was everything. That was part of my upbringing. And like I said, I matured musically being at that church because wow, you got Stephen Ford, who's can't even talk about. We can't. Once we go there, Uncle Stevie, he was like the original. He set the bar so high.
Yes.
And the name Ford, Stephen Ford.
Yes.
It's,
Mm-hmm.
that you had to, you couldn't come and be,
Listen,
oh,
you
because it'll
can
be,
come.
we'll sit there and be
Listen.
like, everybody sit there and just be looking like,
Right.
so it was the bar was set high, and the level of expectancy as far as music, so that definitely helped me in my playing anyway, in my approach to every gig that I'm on. It's just we always give it 110%. That's what Bishop always used to tell us. He said, let's go. We do it from the
Listen.
choir on down.
Yep. Yep.
And
And it was always what 5 star. We didn't do it. Listen, if it wasn't, we didn't do it. And so that had a lot of foundation for you, and it made you, and it took you to different places because of those that you were around, those that you were connected to, those
mm-hmm,
that you watched, right, and those that you
mm-hmm,
aspired after.
mm-hmm,
And all that means a lot. So we're going to go to a commercial break, and we're going to come back on the other side, and we're going to talk about where you are, where what you're doing, and where you're going. Because
yeah,
Aaron Draper is going, right? So we're going to go to a
I sure
commercial.
am.
Yes. And we'll be right back. We're back. And we are talking with percussionist, yes, Aaron Draper. And before we went to the commercial, we were talking about, being a part of a band and, what you add to it and how you add to it. But I want you to tell us what you do as the musician that you are.
You know, I mean, as for me, like, I mean, what I do, what I bring to the table when I'm, of course, when I'm playing in any band is, man, it's like I said earlier, I said, yeah, I'm adding the seasoning. So, I mean, I'm like, I go in and I'm filling those spaces and I'm playing those parts. But if it's a song that's already out there, for me, I like to listen to the song and um, play the patterns that's in the song, or if it's not, make a pattern that's still within the song, but play it on percussion and make it seem like it was supposed to be in there. So I'm just like more of a little bit more of the glue and the extra soul food seasoning, and colors and all that to the song, and that's what percussion. brings. It's not quite drums, but almost in the same vein. The, the 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 other connection that the other stuff that the drummer can't touch on. That's what I do. That's my
So,
part.
what got you into percussions? Because you play the drums, right?
Yeah.
So what got you into the percussion piece?
I wanted to. It was so many drummers. I was just like, back then, we had everybody was coming up. You had
Right.
Spank, you had Pudge, you had Lil Down, you had Jay, you had this. Right? So I don't know. I was just, oh God, rest his soul, Tremaine Walker. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
I was like, I want to play something, you know, else that maybe I just had to. It'll be. I don't know. I guess I didn't know it would get me here, but it just, I was like, man, I just play percussion and with my flavor or twist to it and make it so it's one and on everything. You know what I mean?
And it's funny because honestly, you literally walked in with the bongos one day.
Hmm.
Like literally. Because they weren't there.
Oh, they were
I,
they were they were Curtis Blaine's. His little setup he used to have there. Them two little congas and the little timbales he used to bring. And we used to be in there playing with sticks. I mean, I was, but I would play in school, like, but
mhm.
there at four, it was like when I was starting to like put it more together.
Because nobody was
And then by
doing it.
then, no, I wasn't. I mean, Kurt, he would play his little bongos, but half the time he wasn't playing. I was the only one playing them drums behind, on the side right there of the drums near the door
Yes.
where the choir
Yep.
little wall used to be.
Yes. On the
Got a
side,
little
right
arrogant, so
there at the
yeah,
bottom. Yep.
yeah. And then
And
of course, eventually I bought my own stuff, and
right.
then we moved right there in front of the drums, and that was my little section back then. I
Yeah.
was I was developing.
Yes.
Somebody
And
gave
you
me that stuff too
developed
back
it.
then.
You did it.
Yeah,
You developed
absolutely.
it.
Hmm.
And right there in that ministry, and it took off. So, how did you
Hmm.
get from that place to being in the church on Germantown Avenue to being sought out after all over
Hmm.
the world? How did that happen?
Um, back then there was a lot of networking. We ain't have all this technology stuff and all that back then, and I was at the right place at the right time. I did audition with Richard Nichols, who was the Roots manager at the time, and he liked me. Yeah, I was playing drums, so you know that ended up me playing house band for the Black Lily, and then drums for the Jazzy Fat Nasties, and then Bob still was going to church. Also, that was on Tuesday, so Sundays, we was in church, and then we hit
That's
Tuesday, we
right.
was there. That's what me, Omar Aldo was there, and so you had a lot of artists come through, and I started doing stuff with the Roots after a while. And like I was like, man, I can play the conga. It'll be one conga thing. I started playing that, and then just after a while, it just started. It just turned, and I don't even know how it turned. It just turned into something like I just started playing percussion at congas at like it would be, my boy. He would bring his congas, and I would sit on him and play his congas for a while. Then I don't know. I think after a while, just one day I was like, I'm just gonna do this. I mean, I still was playing drums sometimes, but it just turned
Mm-hmm.
into a thing. One day I just got like, I'll play something that'll be different, and that was the choice at the time. And so it started developing around then, around the time, because like I was starting to put more stuff together at the church, like bring my little
Mm-hmm.
stuff. I went on tour finally, bought some new stuff, man, and well, Bishop bought me these bongos and these what else? He bought me something. Oh, he bought me stands for my congas, the white ones I used to have, and that was the start of something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it started developing after a while. You know.
So, as a drummer, there are things that we
Mhm.
do in order to, well, not me, because I'm nowhere near a drummer. I like the keys. But, but as a drummer, right, as a musician, there are things that we have to study and how we do our our training and our instruction, right?
Hmm.
What kind of
Hmm.
training, what kind of instruction did you have to get in order to be a percussionist?
Man, it's funny. It actually kind of came natural. Like I could play a little bit already. I was a drummer. I don't know. Kind of just came naturally to me.
Hmm.
But I studied a lot of great people, sat around a lot of great people, and I I turned that into my thing. Whatever what I developed
Hmm.
in my own right, artistry. You know.
So,
So
how
that's
would you
how that's.
tell others that are looking at this piece, not necessarily being a
Mhm.
drummer, but being the extra sauce, as you call it?
I mean, it's about tastefulness. It's about placement. It's about feel. It's about knowing the songs. It's about knowing what to play and what not to play. And if it feels good, it's going to be right. You can tell from an artist if they like it or not, or it's automatic. But it's just knowing that comes over time, though. You know what I mean? I had my young. I was just telling one of my friends, I was like, man, we used to sound young, anticipating everything, chops and keys, and playing all this, and in your 20s you start to mature a little bit. Then your 30s, you start to, grasp it a little bit more, and we was young, so it don't come over time, but it's just um,
But you
grasping the
feel it.
mentality and learning it. You know, I'm grateful because like I said, at that age, 16 through like 18. Omar was getting whatever he was getting. He was bringing it back to the church because
Right.
JoJo left. JoJo's the foundation of a lot of that music because he rearranged a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Joseph Wiley, and so we was playing it. We picked it up and we took it and made it into whatever we had. He had Omar sitting around James Poyser, and like I said, he was bringing a lot of stuff back for us to make a formula to what we were playing at the church. And
To
so
what was
you
being
take
played
that
at
formula,
church.
stuff that you learn.
Hmm.
Here we go. You know.
So it
I
sounds
mean, if you
like you're
think about it, we
saying,
was playing a lot of. We was really, he had us like we was tight, but
yeah, but you
it was it
rehearsed.
was it's pretty good.
Y'all were knit.
We
Like
rehearsed.
y'all
It's
were.
funny, but it was also us hanging around each other because we rehearsed only for big stuff. Like we like when we a lot all the time. We just Sunday mornings
It.
we was rolling.
Right.
We had
Right.
one. What was the rehearsal on Wednesdays,
Thursdays.
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 I may not or had been there. Omar and
Right.
Jay may have been there, or may have just been Omar. Like what I mean. Then Sunday we get together, and sometimes we were there.
Hmm.
It just all depends. It depends on what level of what we were doing. We always rehearse before something like a big concert, or we're going out of
Right.
town to Chicago, or
Recording.
you know, them trips.
Yeah. Right. Them trips.
Yeah. Hmm.
But
So
it's funny because you're I mean you're talking about not just being a musician, but really being connected to those who you're with, and
yeah,
not just being connected musically, but being connected as a unit, as friends, right?
yeah,
Having
absolutely.
relationship with those that you play with. How have you seen that transpire, even over the years? Because you guys don't play together all the time now, but there are times
Mm-mm.
when you come together and you just because you are in the industry, like when you come together, how
Mm-mm.
does that mix happen again, or does it?
It's like automatic. This one.
See,
Oh, what's up? Oh,
right,
we sit down. We going.
right,
This is like your best friend that they're really gonna say what they're gonna do. Or
no
the musical
questions.
playing is the playing I grew up on. I mean, it's evolved, but the foundation is still there. The formula,
Yeah,
so
yeah, it doesn't change.
it
Like,
never changes.
mm-hmm, it doesn't
That's why we could
change.
do what we did at Bishop Funeral. It was just like wow. It was like ooh, wow. We still got that same
Vibe.
same feel.
Yeah, yeah, it
So
just
yeah.
happens. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, what else are you doing? Where are you going? What's next for Aaron?
Um, a little bit more touring. My band is working on stuff. The Origin Band. we're
The
working
Origin
on
Band? What's the Origin
yes, the
Band?
Origin Band. The Origin Band is the band that I sing in and play, and that's with Daryl Robinson, me, Ray Holloman, Adam Blackstone, Wayne Moore, um, and Johnny Smurf Smith. And we all in the band, and we it's like a almost quartet, but not quartet. Something a
Okay.
little bit more different. And we got some music out now on iTunes. We have a song called "Emergency," which you can get on iTunes. I'm singing lead. That's what I got right now.
We're going to hear a little bit of the music from Origin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we
Yeah.
can get it where?
On iTunes, it's called iTunes, Spotify. It's all streaming applications, and it's called the Origin Band Emergency.
Okay. All right. And is there a website? Is there, like, how can we find you?
You can find me right. I don't have my own website, but you can find me on Baby Boy BBMG Management. That's my management company. You can find me on there. Also I'm on Instagram. You want to follow me at _DRAPE30 Aaron Draper. And I have a lot of just the music I do in life, and just I have fun on there. Try to.
Now I know they say that a man ain't supposed to cry. So tell me why am I standing here, tears in my eyes? These troubles of life done left me with these holes right here in my heart. Got me reaching for my Bible. Lord, I'm so confused, don't know where to start. And I just need a remedy.
Have an awesome one. I love you. I will talk to
Love
you
you too.
soon. Be safe out there, and I'll see you when you get back to Philly. We're going to do lunch.
Do it.
Yes.
See y'all.
We're gonna
Absolutely.
do lunch. Yes. This is the Pastor Chira Show, and we'll see you next week.